As we look forward to a new school year for the academic year 2024-2025, so many parents are asking, especially students, whether what our schools have been advertising to them actually obtains in their respective institutions. Do they have what they promise students and parents before they start off the school year? And this evening we're also going to be looking at the dicey relationship between teachers and school owners. Is it a cordial relationship amongst these two, or it is a cat and mouse relationship? Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to another edition, the first for the week of Prime on My Media Prime TV. This evening we're going to be looking at these two topics with some teachers who are in the house with me and a politician who is a regular panelist on My Media Prime TV, Prime precisely. We are in the company of Dr. Michael Ndimancho, who is a lecturer with some universities in Cameroon. Good evening, Doctor. We're glad to have you.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Leo. It's a pleasure to be with other panelists, and a pleasure to talk about a very sensitive topic. Of course, we know that the school year is just around the corner, and we will have this usual rhetorics about how people lure students and parents to their institutions. And I think that sometimes parents are really wanting, they don't know where to go to. And it is very important to organize programs like this to be able to educate parents and students, to open their eyes, open their minds, to be able to know exactly how to choose where to go. Because it becomes that sometimes people are just desperate to go to school. It's just the issue of going to school, or why are we going to school, and which school are you going to? Sometimes some of these questions need to be answered. Thanks so much for inviting me.
We also have Fah Elvis Tayong, who is the Under Secretary for Communication for the Cameroon Renaissance Movement. Good evening, Fah. We're glad to have you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Leo. It's my pleasure being present here today. Greetings to the people of Gunoko Village as usual, Naba, Christopher, and a host of others who are watching us out there at Windhoek, and all those who are watching out in the entire Bingui Central Subdivision and wherever they are. But then above all, greetings to Professor Maurice Kamto, the no-nonsense political leader who is putting the things in order ahead of any other election, whatsoever the case might be. As I said, our members of the party who are currently detained illegally at the different detention centers must be released. It's a matter of time. Come rain, come sun.
We also guested this evening by Mrs. Sue Patience, who is a teacher with one of the schools operating out here in the Douala 5 subdivision, St. Jerome.
Yes.
Yeah, Institute. So we are glad to have you, Madam Patience.
Thank you. Good evening. It's a great pleasure for me to be here on your panel this evening. I just want to thank you for the invitation. I'm here on behalf of St. Jerome Bilingual Secondary School, situated in Lendi, Douala 5 region. I want just to use this opportunity to tell you it's a great time to come back to us as your children are about to begin school, to renew your confidence in St. Jerome and come for a new beginning.
Okay, we are also guested by Ndzi Eugene, who is a teacher, although he's also a student trying to further his education. We're glad to have you on Prime Hour.
Thank you so much. It's a great privilege to be here again. I think this topic is a topic that is so important to discuss, because many a times we send our children to school and it's like the children have a different objective, the proprietors have different objectives, and the teachers have different objectives. So coming to strike a balance here is an opportunity for me.
Okay,
thank you.
It is also, we are also happy to have had you as a teacher with us, and we'll start with the relationship between teachers and proprietors. And since you are a teacher, I would like you to set the ball rolling. You said looks like there are different objectives. The students have their objective, the parents have an objective different from what the proprietors and teachers have. Where are you coming from with this notion?
Okay, to begin with, I think that there are some things that we need to understand, some consideration that we need to put in place when talking about striking a balance between teachers and the proprietors. And the first is the role and responsibilities. The school proprietors are the owners of the administration who manage the overall operation of the school, while the teachers are responsible for the instructions in class and the delivery to students. That's the first. And then the second one we have is the authority and decision making. I think this authority and decision making is divided into two. The proprietors have the authority over the overall budget of the school. They also have the authority over the curriculum policies and the authority over the employment and the dismissal of teachers. And the third thing is alignment, communication. I think that there should be alignment, communication between the proprietors and the teachers. And all this boils down to purpose. Before creating a school, what is your purpose for creating the school? Is it because you see how students are wallowing in confusion? Is it because of the moral decadence? Is it because of students are unable to find out their purpose or to pursue their career, that you decide to create a school to help orientate them to become what they want to be in life? If that is the purpose, then you as a teacher, what is your purpose of being a teacher? Is it because there is nothing to do that you just decide to pass time while looking for something to do, or you really have the passion and you see a child and then you want to put in knowledge in the child? Then you as a child, while you are going to school, what do you have in your mind? I think that school should be a place where you already know what you want to do and they are helping you to modify it, they are helping you to redefine it, they are helping you to build it up. Not necessarily a place where you go and they tell you what you can do, because I believe humans know better what he or she is made up of. Thank you.
I will now get to Ms. Patience, who is representing St. Jerome. I don't know whether you are here as a teacher or representing St. Jerome. What has been the relationship between the proprietors of St. Jerome and the teachers?
I would like to use this opportunity to thank our founder for the balance theory we practice in our institution. Here we can talk of a balance theory because we have him, he thinks about himself, he thinks about the others, and then he equally thinks about the society as a prime notice. Our school is a full package, if I can call it, a full package. Here we have the ratio. The ratio is our objective. Why is it our objective? When the employee feels confident, the production is positive. You can have that in their results. We do not do publicity, but we show up our results at the end of the session. At the end of the session, when you look at the results, you know that the teachers have been impacting. The teachers are impacting following the impact they receive from their founders or their employee. Their employer has something to put in. When he puts in the package, the teachers are available to do the work. And when you have this opportunity, you have to grab it, because it is not, when we talk of the triangle of the balance sheet, you have others, you have yourself, and you have the society. When you're striving to bring out a positive society whereby everybody is positively responding, the triangular angles are positive. Okay. You begin to understand that when there is an unbalance, there is a deficiency in benefits. Okay. But if you have a school complex like St. Jerome, and you put in the best, your children, the students pay their fees, you put in the package for the work to be done, the students will receive a considerate education following the amount you are investing. Your investment brings back a return to you. Being it that if a proprietor doesn't consider his workers, the imbalance will be shown directly on their results at the end of the year. So we have to look at all of that. Results are the publicity schools should use. Schools shouldn't use buildings, schools shouldn't use beautiful classrooms or any other thing. But the impact that they bring into the society is the outcome. The outcome at the end of the day, when the students end up having their exams, and not only giving them, what did I say? Not only giving them academic knowledge, but impacting their lives in one way or the other. You can impact their life in the cultural development, you can impact their life in their social development, you can impact their life in many other ways.
Okay, so, well, forget what you're trying to say, is that St. Jerome out here in Douala is living up to expectations, taking good care. There is a very cordial relationship between the owners of the school and the teachers. That's what you're trying to say?
Yes, there is a balance sheet.
Okay.
There's a balance theory.
Are you a proprietor or you are?
I am an employee.
Okay, you work there. Okay, well, you're a teacher. Yes. No, let me get to another teacher on this platform here, though he's teaching at a very high level at the university. Yes. What is the impression you have of the relationship that exists between the proprietors? I'm sure you've worked with some private schools also. Is it always very cordial, or is it a cat and mouse relationship?
Well, let me start from the very the foundation. You know, in Cameroon, before you open a school, you create a school. There is a law. I think you are required to have a certain amount of money kept to take care of the teachers, to be sure that you can take care of teachers for 1 year. That is very important to note. Which, of course, people have been waiving. Most proprietors have waived that. Now, secondly, there is the issue of the private sector, which the government, which is supposed to be an important sector that is assisting the government in all this. Now, but what we have realized that the private sector, which, of course, the government has given a whole secretariat to, there's what we call SEJUK. Yes, whereby they take, take of the private sector, the founders of the private schools, where they have to collaborate and make sure that, they actually run their schools well. The private sector is meant to help the government, because the government cannot provide all the schools in the country. But then, the unfortunate thing is that most people who endeavor into this sector are business people. They have tend to monetize everything. Education has been monetized. Meaning that what? The mission and the vision is blurred. Because every institution is supposed to have a mission and a vision. But when this is lacking, other priorities are put forth on the table. And that is why when you go to some of these schools, you are even talking about the proprietor. You don't even see the proprietor. The proprietor put a stooge or someone who is dedicated. And the proprietor is never found. Means that what? The person receives every bullet, he receives every complaint, he receives every abnormality, he receives everything, and keeps perhaps to themselves. And in most of the cases, you want to show your competence in dealing with these issues. And in some of these cases, you don't even tell the proprietor that this is the problem that the teachers are facing. You find the teachers complaining behind the scene, and the proprietor does not even know that the teachers are complaining. There is no salary. There is, the work condition is not conducive, and the proprietor does not know. Sometimes people don't want to tell the proprietor, the leaders, or what they call the directors. They don't want to tell the director because it will be a sign of weakness on their part. They want to handle it and show the proprietor that, we are able to handle this situation. But in doing that, the school fails. So these are some of the issues. Now, going to the part of the teacher, every teacher who goes to a school to teach, there is supposed to be what we call motivation. This motivation goes round. Even when you want to apply, even internationally, there's always this issue of motivation. Even those who do research, there's the issue of motivation, which is always a very, very important thing. They ask you, what has motivated you to teach? The issue that we have in Cameroon is a little bit precarious because people indulge into the teaching field as the last resort. Because they have not had what they wanted, so the available has become the preferred. And the available is what? Schools. And since schools are being lettered here and there, because it is now being monetized, It is not only for the vision of educating children, because the vision is what? That even if it's in a primary school, when this child leaves the primary school, you should be able to have a good record of the child, even wherever he is. It is like the football. When you train a footballer in a club, even a footballer signs in a big club abroad, you always have royalties back in your club here. So the vision should be that it is not just about passing the first school leaving certificate. It's not just about passing the GCE. It is also about letting this child be an example to emulate in the society, and that he may always be quoted back to where he studied in the tertiary or in the elementary or in the primary, whatsoever. This is what happens. But because people think only about the now, the goals of the runners of school are so ephemeral. Ephemeral means what? They want the immediate output of, the benefits that they have in running those schools. Now, the issue of school becomes now a very, very serious problem, because we are encouraging everybody to go to school. In the 21st century, a child who doesn't go to school is considered, the parents are shamed, and the child himself considers himself as a misfit in the society. And therefore, people, instead of using this positively, judiciously, in opening schools and letting these children get in, they are taking an advantage of the fact that since every child is supposed to go to school, we have to pin a school just at any place, and then we welcome children without any vision for the child, without any plan for the child's future. This is what happens, and that's why you go around the town, even in the remotest, back in your backyard, you find a school. It is not supposed to be so. Schools are temples. Schools are temples of learning. And if you talk about a temple, you talk about cleanliness, you talk about sanity, you talk about holiness, and you talk about decorum. And therefore, when we have a school that is being pinned as if it is an industry somewhere, we begin to ask ourselves, whether are these schools now being commercialized for something? Are our children being commercialized for something in return for money? So you find that this relationship between the teacher and the proprietor becomes a little bit tense and not cordial. Why? Because the teacher is coming for a different motive. The different motive is that he wants to have his money, and most teachers who teach, especially in the primary school, want to have their money to continue their education or to go abroad. It is not to, they don't come to remain. And that is why the proprietors too, having noticed this, they treat them so badly. You come and the proprietor tells you, I'll pay you for 10 months. He makes sure that that 10th month, he pays you in the beginning of another school year. Because he knows that during holiday, you will not come, the next academic year, you will not come back. And if you don't come, what happens? Now he benefits from the 10th month that is remaining that he was supposed to pay you. So you see this ping pong that is being played. And now the teachers too are very smart. They are too very smart. A teacher will do just anything because you know that I have just 1 year in this school. So there is no continuity in the school. You find that children are being changed, teachers here now and then, and it creates a psychose. It creates a psychological trauma in the children. So I think that that cordial relationship that is supposed, you hardly see a proprietor call for a meeting with the teachers. It is always his henchman, a man or henchwoman or whatsoever, that calls for meeting with it. Meanwhile, opening a school is first of all the vision of the proprietor or the proprietors. It's first of all his vision. What do you want for this? What do you want to do? Do you just want as pride that, okay, I too am running a school? But we have other very good proprietors who are running that in this perspective, where you see investment. Because school is about investment. I know we are talking about St. Jerome. I've been there too, and I saw that the investment is worth something. And you see that somebody can invest money in that light, and then you accept somebody to come, or a teacher or whosoever, to just come and crumble in a matter of. So when you see the kind of investment some schools make, you know that there is this idea of continuity for the school and that they have a future.
You are a politician, Fah Elvis Tayong, but you also you've taught. You taught for some years.
I'm a retired teacher.
Yes, you taught. No, you are not retired. You just. Yes, you taught for some years, and your experience with our viewers.
Well, I've listened to that, and the things I might say are things that maybe those who are currently in the teaching field will not want to say. For one reason or the other, maybe their providers might not be too happy with them. You know that I've taught at the famous Standard Bilingual High School. You know, we've been there. And so, Kumba City College itself, KCC in the early days, CCC, Bokwango, and a host of others. It's not very easy with the teaching. Even Mutengene Bilingual College, that is no longer there. The schools are quite in their numbers. And I think at that stage, it was more of a baptism to me. Because the things I saw are not the things that are supposed to be there. We'll talk about teaching. I think few of us were those who had loved that teaching as a passion. Because I remember even at my A level, I was doing some private classes, went to UB first year, I was already teaching as standard as year one. I was already teaching as standard and a host of other schools around there. So, including McBecall, which is still there now. And so with the channels, Botelas and other like those public figures, Kum Leonard, I was teaching religion philosophy. And the first thing you realize is that, as I said, the proprietors themselves, they are businessmen. And being business people, they tell you, they give you the option that they are there to assist in educating Cameroonians. No lie. These guys are business people.
Yeah, by doing business, they are educating.
Yeah, no.
Were you not educating people?
No, excuse me, Hakum.
Okay.
When I was there, what I'm saying is that as a student, I went to look for money. Doctors just said something here. I love the teaching, yes, but I was also looking for money. That was the reality in it. And so what was very peculiar, has been very peculiar about the teaching issue is that, one, you get to a proprietor who tells you, okay, Mr. Fah, you know you are a very good teacher, you are very young, energetic. All right, you will begin, you take opposite and Form 5, religion and philosophy. Okay, you put agree on 18,000 and 18 periods. He tells you, okay, I'll pay you 25,000 francs, where you accept. After 1 month, where you know there is civics in Form 3 and 4, the teacher is not there, and history, you come and help us. You're already in the system. You only realize that later on you are taking 32 periods already. And on that 32 period, the 25 that he was giving you, only at 5,000 francs on it. Okay, that one was that one. And what was, I think those who are teaching are a little bit lucky because we used to have money from September to December. When January comes, they start paying part. By the time you get to March, they owe the rest of the money and carry ahead. So you cannot even leave the school because you are still aiming that, let me come back so that I can get the rest of it. I don't know how tactical it was, but I think the proprietors, they are watching me because we meet every day, and I tell them, you are the ones who made me to escape from teaching back to journalism to journalism rather, not back to journalism, because the treatment there was not too good. And the worrisome aspect, as I said, Mr. Ndimancho just made mention of something. When proprietors begin their school at the initial stage, they take you teachers as part of the school. I mean, that means they make you know that, you know, we're helping to build this thing, you know, it's our thing. It's not your thing as they tell you. It's not your... And so by the time that the school grows and changes level, you only get to realize that that very proprietor that you were seeing him every day, he was talking and begging you, no. He only passed in his car, he has gone. The next thing is go and see the principal. The next thing, go and see the discipline master, go and see the VP. That is the dynamics changes overnight. And as I said, they are business persons. The bad thing in the teaching core, they should hear very well. Because I am a victim of that. To have taught about 6 different schools and treated, and I see my fellow colleagues who are still there now. I'm sorry to call the word chaffing. I don't know how to call it, but you can see people impact knowledge on Cameroonians. And then you discover that they are barely surviving. I'm very sorry. They hear me, I meet them all the time. They say, on fire, journalism, blah, 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 blah. But you feel it that you have a school. Some writers begin, they rent, you can understand with them. After some time, they make money from that very school business. They buy a plot. They construct. Most of them are not renting at all. Which means that if they had taken a loan, within a given period of time, that loan must have been paid. The worst is even mission. Because mission, they are not owing any, they don't rent. They have paid their loans long, they don't owe anything. At the end of it, you start asking, is this not witchcraft in broad daylight? That a teacher's shoe is flat like the back of a lizard. Some barely survive. I will tell you the anecdote that even when I was teaching, the store man with me, who was there at BBC in those days, they used to call him Connie. I'm sure he's watching now. That was the man who was rescuing me. Because I would take, when the money is earning, I just collect the money, till the money has gone back. Because if you don't give it to the store man, you cannot come back to collect again when things are not moving. So you behave like the man who goes to the bar and drinks on credit. The moment his salary enters, the first thing he's going to claim because he needs to continue drinking. And so these are the things we went through. Now you realize that with the proprietors, as I said, most of them were business people. The worst of it is that most of them were not renting. Most of them have huge investments, but they forget about the people who work that money. This is reality. The teachers here on platform might not want to tell you that if you come there, you bring an accountant who gives you an overall calculation of that is what the students pay in after the school has taken off. The beginning is difficult. Let me not hide it. At the beginning, the proprietors, they work at real deficit. But when it gets on its feet, a school has 500, 1,000, and all the, I don't want to call the names of the schools that I know now. And you come to think of it that you have a teacher who goes on 35,000, 40,000, 50, and then sometimes they'll tell you they're paying only 9 months. That's the first thing they do. Only administrators, principal, DM, maybe the few, they'll tell you that they're paying 12 months. They've already waived that one aside. Now, for those that pay on period, technically when it's getting towards December, towards the what we call Rasta week, those periods are already off. They gain through it. Some even close before the required date given by the minister. They hurry closing. So that if they have boarding schools, they have escaped that feeling of the children, they have escaped the period that teachers would have marked. They know this thing that I'm talking. They know it very well. And some of the teachers, since as they cannot talk, us were born to talk. I told my proprietor, BBC, ho-ha, Standard, ho-ha, CCC, ho-ha, and I left. But those who could not brave that ought to say it that no, enough is enough, they had to stay. So in all, the worst part of it is that some of these schools receive subvention. That's why I blame the kangaroo system in Yaoundé. What is the meaning of giving subvention to schools? It's because you want to help the schools run, especially at the level of taking care of the human resource itself. Now, how do you give subvention to a school? You don't come to follow up how they use the money. All proprietors, most of them take subvention, they are business people. As the subvention just coming, bam, they take it and apply in their different businesses. They have more than 4 or 3 businesses. You take money from school that you would have plowed back to make sure that the teachers live well. Some of them can even buy plots, buy their houses. No. You take the money and put it in a private business. And the teachers come in morning, afternoon, evening. Some are even put in what they call evening school. When I was a student, I went there, I started teaching during the day. Before I knew it, they said, no, Fah, you also take some periods, evening school. They thought I was teaching morning and evening. I was not even understand what I was doing. But anyway, I said I was trying to build a career, but the career was a very terrible one because the experience was a very bad one. So at the end of it, the teachers themselves, like what you are saying, they live under precarious conditions and they are not talking. That's my problem with them. And at the end of it, you start asking yourself, how do you come each time you need, there's an advantage you need, but you go begging. Sometimes you have to write to the VP channels to principal channels to proprietor. They say, well, we'll try to see what to do. But you are the one working this money. You are the one helping to keep the children in school. Boya, for example, had a different scenario. When school is starting, they had particular teachers that will recruit. Those, if you come to religion, they will take this one. Kum Leonard is my mentor. The person who taught me religion, who mentored me rather. And a host of others, the channel the bottlers will pick them in most of those many schools. Now, they use them now as a showcase, and children will come. And so the proprietors were very technical. The bad thing in the whole show is that the teachers were not equal. When the salary is not going through, there are some that they don't pay their salary. When they call those key teachers, it's terrible. And so, while you are crying that you have no salary for the, your fellow colleague is just quiet. Oh, Fah, don't worry, things will surely be fine. Don't worry. The man has requested because he has an entente between him and the proprietor because the proprietor sees him as a crowd puller. So those crowd pulling teachers had exceptional advantages. Us who came in new and were looking for a means to showcase our hate for religion, philosophy, and history, no. It was not what we saw. We saw hellfire. And so at the end of it, I got so worried as to when I realized that the schools where I was teaching had subvention. And my first word was, what are these proprietors doing with this subvention that come from the state? Now, it dawns on me that but the state too has an error. If the state was monitoring how these monies were used, I'm sure teachers would not have been chaffing. But since they don't monitor, so the monies go their separate ways, and at the end of it, the experience has been too bad that you are a teacher in school. And sometimes some of us were just being gentle. Because you see a student who could eat well, 2,000 francs every break. I said, please, sir, please, will you mark up? You said, no, it's okay. Whereas hunger is almost killing you. But now you're a teacher. How do you stoop low to tell the children, no, bring the bread and sardine, just let me eat? So it was very precarious. And the worst of it is that, let me tell you something. The labor inspectors are even another criminal gang to this scenario. Because they know all the recalcitrant proprietors. You bring your case to the labor inspector, He will only be laughing. He will only be saying, no, don't worry, I will see, I'll call him. And the proprietors, most of the times, when they are owing your money, they prefer to give money to the courts. They prefer to give money to labor inspectors than to give you the money. The young man who came there to put in place, to impart knowledge on the children, he will not give you. He will tell you, go to hell. With me, labor inspector, don't worry, I've asked him to come. I had a bitter scenario in Buea. When I went over and over, later on, the labor inspector told me, okay, do you have money? I want to send it to court. Can you put the bills at the court? Automatically, I was sent out of the game. And that was a labor inspector who told me, when they fail in litigation, their only option is to send it to court. But they were showing that I had to pay some bills to put the bills at the court. When I was still looking for my 4-month salary, as a student, you could imagine how that grandma money was so much money for me. But at the end, how did it go? At the end of it, it is a very sad scenario. Maybe some people do not go through that, but I have a handful of colleagues who have those kind of worries, and I say that schools are purely business. So what the proprietors do is that they should only help us to make sure that while you are making your money, think of the people who also help you to work that money and ameliorate their living condition. You will not die. They will never be proprietors like you. And that's why, because the proprietors failed in their activities, many schools sprang up. We know what happened. Other schools, Salvation, they were coming up. I don't want to call the names. And other ones were springing up. The famous cars and all the like Frankfield were coming from a main school that the same for primary schools. And those are things that teachers don't have that idea in their head. But the moment you maltreat them, when they get to a particular point, you see they take 5, 6, and they go out. You want to see the next day, there's a school they're opening next door. Those ones, when they maltreat, there's another set of teachers. The next day, they come. It's the same thing like Pentecostal churches. When you a pastor maltreat the sub-pastors, the next day is that the sub-pastors get angry. They see the money the man is controlling and he's not giving them. The next day they go out, corner Christians and start their own. Even if they are starting in a veranda, the next day the church is growing. So it's a sad scenario where I think something needs to be done by the government to check on the excesses, especially within the private sector. The worst of it is lay private, where you are supposed to incarnate God's, that is God's value, but on the contrary, those who control the schools make millions, especially in mission schools. Why those who teach there, they chaff day in, day out. And every day they hold the Bible and tell you, God bless you. Terrible thing.
Okay. How do we fix this relationship described as not too good? Though he says there are some proprietors that are really doing their best to make sure that teachers live well. How do we fix that relationship? And do proprietors actually come to live, to feel what the teachers go through? Are they really in close contact with the teachers that they recruit?
I think that in many schools, the proprietors know what is happening. Before asking how the proprietors, whether they really feel the pains of the teachers and the others, I first of all want to say vision, as he said, is very important, because vision is associated with purpose, and it is said when a purpose for something is not known, abuse is inevitable. So when the purpose for school is not known, abuse of teachers is inevitable. I always have this preoccupation. I know it's both for teachers and for proprietors. First of all, I usually say that as a teacher, when you are going to teach, for instance, if you decide to teach, you can decide with the proprietor, okay, this proprietor, because what I usually see in most cases, I'm talking this one for the proprietors. In most cases, you see a teacher will analyze and say, this proprietor is having this amount, is having this, the students have increased, so he's supposed to increase my salary. And I said that is a principle, and it's a good principle. I'm also wondering, taking myself to be a proprietor while coming back to the teacher, say, but if students are increasing, and then I ask that they should increase my salary or they should increase our salaries because students are increasing, what if they decrease? Will I be able to go and stand, ask the proprietor that seeing the students are decreasing, I want you to decrease my salary? Okay, now coming to proprietors, making sure that teachers are good, I think that this one is very, very easy and simple. For instance, when you go for an interview, you want to discuss with the proprietor, he will tell you that take this, maybe 45,000, what many people usually call conscience talk. They will begin to give you conscience talk and be telling you how life is not all about money, how life is all about impacting, which is true, but they are using it to their own advantage. Now, first of all, they'll tell you about the students. They'll say you have extra classes, especially for the primary, you have this, but at the end, you discover that if you don't have extra classes, normally, to me, I think that it should not be a reason for a proprietor to be telling teachers you are going to have extra classes, because it is like saying that you are not good enough. And most of these proprietors, one of the reasons why they they maltreat. Let me use that word. I don't know whether it's too harsh, but I think that it has a place. One of the reasons why they do all this is they are so wise. They choose the type of teachers. I can tell you there are some proprietors that I can even say that they don't know how teaching the certificate looks like. They don't know how the KPM, they don't know how it looks like because they don't care. If they employ some that maybe are just from maybe class 6, others from ordinary level, others from advanced level, they don't care what you are going to give because these are the people that they can really manipulate. At times they see that you are equipped, they will not want to employ you. So concerning this, I am saying that the proprietors are supposed to be wise. In which way? Because the teachers themselves, no teacher is going to compare with you. No teacher is coming to share your profit with you. But at least, I was talking with a proprietor one day. He was angry. The proprietor was angry. He told me that he wanted all his teachers, he wanted to put all his teachers in CNPS. There is a school that I know right now. I've been in that school, I think it's 4 years ago. Till now, all the teachers are still in that school. Nobody has shaken from that school. That school, they have 12 months salary. 12 months salary, the proprietor is paying them all the time. So I think that when we do this, we are happy, and at least you decide you will do it with all your heart. When you are motivated, you as a teacher, you will be inventive, and then you will be innovative, and it will increase the standard of teaching in our nation. Thank you.
Okay. Fixing the relationship between proprietors and teachers, you've had, he's shared some life experiences, yes, which are not too good to listen to. Yes, but you say St. Jerome is different. He raised the issue of teachers who are working to this year and tomorrow they are no longer there, disrupting the continuity of the philosophy that the pioneer teachers carry. How is St. Jerome handling its affairs differently?
We just want to say there are experiences are different. We have different realities we live every day. But let us take the law of conservation of mass. When we talk of the law of conservation of mass, this is a law we shouldn't violate. If you are a baker, there are quantities that you need to put in for your baking to be successful. If you're making a meal, you have quantities of everything. If you want to double the quantity, make sure you double every atom of it, unless you will not have the same results at the end of the day. When we come to St. Jerome, the employer takes in complete responsibilities of his employees, because your salaries are paid on time, your salaries are always available on the set date, and they pay you as you sign your contract at the beginning of the year. That notwithstanding, this impactation, it creates an inclusive culture where everyone feels safe and share their ideas. Everyone in St. Jerome, I can say, is satisfied at the end of the year, because what you are being promised is what you're going to receive. It's for you to decline from the very start that I won't take this, and you go. But if you accept it, then you are going to have it. Because I can say there you have the opportunity to sign a contract with your employer. Now, respect can contribute to enhance employers' performance. They feel valued and safe. And at that stage, not only does it create a healthy environment to work, but it improves the employees' engagement, well-being, satisfaction, and retention. But it also reaps dividends for the organization.
Yes, it reaps a dividend for the organization.
And that is what
you are a teacher in St. Jerome. You work for St. Jerome. How present is the proprietor with you guys? Does he feel? Because someone just said here that what these guys at the beginning they say now team, when the thing will grow, all we go reap. But once the school is grown, after some years, the least you hear from them is go and see the principal, go and see the DM. Yeah. How present is
St. Jerome is 4 years old. I can say St. Jerome is still a baby, but for the 4 years we have spent there, I can bet you that we do not have prostitute teachers, like academic prostitutes that are here this year and next year they are no more. You have the conservation of the personnel, we have a faithful personnel. And you can see if we have 80% of the personnel who started this institution are still present in school because of the satisfactory treatment. It may not be the best, but it is satisfactory because the clauses of your contract is what impacts the input you put in. At the beginning, the vision carrier has invested. It's true. He is the vision carrier. That's why so many companies close up when the vision carriers are no more. So he's the vision carrier. He has a vision. He has an investment he has put in. We will not say no. If you look at the structure of St. Jerome Bilingual School Complex, it's what an investment. But at the end of the day, he needs to recover his investment. I can't come and make an investment and I want to benefit at the same stage like the owner. All of us do not build the school together. It's a private business, but that notwithstanding, you respect your clauses of contract.
What was promised? What was promised you?
What was promised you is given to you.
Is given to you.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Ndimancho, how do we fix this relationship so that the teachers themselves feel get a sense of responsibility in the growth of the school? Because at times they feel like they are being exploited, and after all, it is his business. I have nothing to do here. I'm here because it's a last resort.
There is this statement that they use to deceive teachers. They say teaching is a noble profession. You hear this everywhere. Teaching is a noble profession.
Is it not? Is it not?
Well, it is. That is what
why
and they say that, and they say that nobody can ever pay a teacher, and that the payment of a teacher is somewhere after, heaven or whatsoever.
Maybe after he has died.
And after he has died. Can you imagine that people want to enjoy here on earth, and the lot for the teachers is
you are
enjoying here.
Well.
The proprietor is enjoying here, but wanting the teacher to enjoy in heaven. This is the problem. We need to fix it. This is the thing that one of the issues that we need to fix. Now you see, the schools and proprietors are not concerned about the well-being of the teachers, because to have that cordial relationship, the proprietor should be able to know the condition that the teacher lives in. It's very important. I got a friend who called me the other day and told me, oh, she has got a school to teach in a primary school, and they are offering to pay her 60,000. But she just calculates transport alone per day is about 1,500 francs. Can you imagine? Transport per day is 1,500 francs. Imagine that kind of a teacher going to school and depending on that. And now this now has, they don't think about the salary. Yes, that's the salary they're offering the teacher. They don't think about the rent that the teacher is going to pay. They don't think about the family that the teacher is running. They don't think about the transportation that the teacher is supposed to. They don't think about even the leisure that the teacher too is supposed to have, like some other profession they are having. That you can get the 1 hour evening on the weekend, and I call Mr. Fah and say, Master, can we even take one for a room? Teachers do not, according to the payment they give them, they are not supposed to enjoy those amenities. And now, what is the end result about that? The end result now is that teachers indulge in other issues, private classes. And those are the private classes that kill our children.
Yes.
Teachers force children to come for private classes because, and I understand with them, they do not have. They cannot live on their salary. If a teacher, especially, let me take an example in Douala, you pay a teacher 60,000 francs. Oh my God. How does he survive in Douala with 60,000 francs? What still if he has a family? So the teacher has to do all of those things to survive. He goes, a teacher leaves from school, even the ones that the private classes they do in school, not still enough. A teacher leaves from school at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Directly, he's gone to the people's houses to start teaching. By the time the teacher is coming back to the house, it's really late in the evening. Imagine you having a family. You don't even spend time with your family. It means that what? You are an absentee father. We need to, for this relationship to grow, we must learn to feel the pains of the other people. We must be able to feel what the teachers are feeling. And there is, Mr. Fah talked about this over unlawful, dismissals. Yeah. Because the teachers are so many. The field is, like the Bible says, the field is wide, the laborers are few. That is it. There are many schools. And therefore, if you come and you think that you cannot do the job, well, you are laid off. Teachers are not registered in the social insurance. They are not registered. Imagine a teacher teaching for 10 years in the school, 10, 12, 15 years, and they are not registered. And what are they doing? They are cutting it. When you look at their little pay slip.
They were cutting out.
Yes, when you look at their miserable pay slip, they are cutting social insurance. I've seen teachers going to court, they lay them off, and then they say, but you have been cutting this thing from my salary. What is it now? And the proprietor salary skater. As you say, you go to the labor office, that is another sham. So that is the issue. Teachers do not have security because their worth is in heaven. Please, let teachers enjoy here on earth. It is not an issue of going to heaven. So you see, and another thing is, schools are run by family members. Schools are run by family members. It means what? You want to, there's no way you can complain. There's no way. They share the booty. They share the booty. You are there, you're a poor teacher. You come and teach. You have an issue that you have to complain. You complain to who? You enter here is a cousin. You enter here is a niece. You enter the other way is a nephew. You enter here is an uncle. So you find that most of these proprietors, even there is a source of employment for their family members. They take them and put there. And sometimes the coffers they run dry because those family members have drained the coffers. And who suffers?
Teachers.
The teachers. It is a terrible situation that we have to talk about. Now, I have gotten news about some schools who don't employ teachers, professional teachers, like in the primary school. If you have a KPM, they don't take you. Because they say that you with a KPM, very soon the government will take you. So what they do is, they go and take any Dick and Tom. They don't even care whether that Dick and Tom has what level of education. All is that is a maîtresse or le maître. Teacher, as everyone in the quarter is, the teacher is respected for eating gizzard. That is the sort of teachers. They are respected for eating gizzard because in the quarter they call it teacher, and then most of them pull on their ties and they move and they play around because they are teachers. And they forget that they have a future. Teachers do have a future. Teachers are supposed to have families. Not even just your immediate family, even your own biological families, you are supposed to have and you are supposed to take care of. And you keep on hiding under the pretext. Like this lady who called me. She said, she's thinking that she should not take this job because very soon they will start saying that she's working. And they say she's working, she's not able to give something to the family. Now it's the beginning of problems.
That's it.
That is the issue. How will you come to a town like Douala or Yaoundé and take a salary that will not be able to give you the least rent? When you say studio, what they call it, studio, room and parlor or whatever, it should be about 25, 30,000 francs. And you come and take a job of 50, 60,000 francs. Inside that 50, 60, you pay your transport, you pay your feeding, you pay your rent,
And you may be sick.
You may be sick. Telephone bills are inside. You are sick. You don't even. And that's one of the things that they don't even calculate sickness. We are living by faith.
There was a guy, but the guy
Good. People are just living by faith. And I understand with that because since they say that your payment is in heaven, if you die, okay, your payment now comes immediately. That is where the problem is. Why do we have to do that? These are things that the government has left. There's that laissez-faire of the government. The government is supposed to inspect this thing. When you find at the beginning of each year, you find the Ministry of Basic Education or Secondary Education, they come and say, these are schools that are banned because they are not made up with the requirements. But before you know it, they are operating. Those schools are operating. And the following year, you find the same schools, they send the same. What is happening? That is why our schools have so much been monetized. And therefore, when a proprietor is that one who goes to Yaoundé and passes something under the carpet to the minister, what kind of education or vision will they have for the school? There will be no vision because in that school, what he wants to do is to gain back what he has lost. At least he has constructed and he pays taxes. You want to find people who come, inspectors who come each time, and every inspector that comes to your school is not ready to inspect. You have an inspector, madam. You will tell us more. Inspector will come and remain in the office.
Yes.
They don't go to classes.
Taking
yes, they don't go to classes. When they hear that, I'm a PTA president in a government school, and I know what is happening. That inspectors come, they don't go to the classes. They come, and when they are to come, the principal, they just tell, yes, just say, okay, the inspector is coming. Do you need to ask why they are informing you? You already know that they want to say that the envelope should be issued to the inspector. And I've said that
This shouldn't be so. But they ask me, are you the one to come and change things as they have been happening here? That is the norm. This is what happens. So we need to build that cordial relationship until the proprietor sits and thinks about the teacher and said, hey, these are my teachers. How are they even living in their homes?
Yeah.
Until this comes, this ever happens, I doubt whether any proprietor will sit and think, this is my teacher living in their homes. Or where are they even living? With this expensive life, everything growing, price of fuel, food, and all growing. How are they even living? Until this begins to happen, where there will be that egalitarian kind of, environment. Egalitarian not in terms of money, but in terms of the feeling, in terms of the thought, in terms of affection, that you know that this is a human being, and that you say you are giving him 50 or 60,000 francs. You should ask yourself, how much do you really think that this man is going to spend? Is it going to reach the end of the month? And if it doesn't reach at the end of the month, do you know the effect that is going to cause on the children in classroom? A teacher who is hungry will never give in his best in class, whether you go up or come down. A teacher who is hungry will never give his best. You find teachers who cannot dress to school. Proprietors don't care. But some will even dare to talk. Why are they talking? How much do they give them to dress? These are all the problems of the teachers that we're facing in the educational system. And until the government mangles itself into it, and the government to allow this issue of corruption where the resist under the carpet stops, I think that things will never move well for us in Cameroon. We are complaining about poor educational standards. The standards are falling. But all of us are implicated. Be the proprietors, be the government, be the parents, be the teachers. We need to form that synergy that is supposed to be there to help our children grow. A teacher who teaches a child in school and feel, okay, that is all about what I've done. He doesn't even care how the child will come in the morning. One of the things sometimes is good to ask a child, especially a child that is very difficult, how did you live at home? How is your home? Yeah, there should be that cordial relationship. A parent should be able to call the teacher and say, how is my child doing? But we are rushing. We are in an environment where we rush. Parents rush, teachers rush, proprietors, they rush. The government too is rushing. And if everybody is rushing, then who takes now time to take care of all of these things that we're talking about? So, Mr. Rio, I think it is a problem that we need to solve as a community. It's not an individual problem. But since we are talking about teacher and proprietors, I think that the most part of this lies on the proprietors, because before you open a school, you are supposed to have the money to run that school. There is no time you come and tell teachers that there is no money to run this school. I've just said that you're supposed to have the money at least for 1 year that you took from somewhere. I don't know wherever you took, because it's supposed to go in their document for 1 year to pay those teachers. You cannot be just operating school for 1 year and teachers are already, complaining of issues of salary. And then how did you open that school? That is a question. And how much salary in the first place? That is a question that sometimes we ask. Because when you say I'm not paid a teacher, and we will begin to ask whether teachers are custom officers who in 1 year they are already building skyscrapers, and that you're asking yourself, how much do you pay the teacher that you're complaining you have not paid them? I think the proprietors should take their responsibility and know that they are building a nation. The insanity of the government, they are building a nation. And that theirs too is a noble thing that they are doing.
Okay, it's a noble thing that they are doing, but nobody is also forced them to teach. It is an arrangement that is used. They tell you that this is what we are going to pay you. Yes. So why do we complain even when we knew that this is what we're getting ourselves into?
Let me just go straight to that point, Mr. Leo.
Because when you say, okay, the cost of living in Douala is this, you really knew that this is going to be the cost. Yeah,
Mr. Leo, your question is very pertinent. But I think it is from that phase that you start judging an evil man. Because an evil man will take advantage of a predicament to ride over you. It's like you go and knock a friend's house and you are in dire need of money and he knows that you have a piece of land and he presses hard on you, mortgage that land. If you want me to give no money issue, that I know friendship, money issue is not, just give that land document first. Where he knows that even that money you're taking, he's even praying out, you should take it. Mortgage that, so you should not even pay back.
Yeah, so why take the money at all?
That's what I'm saying, that Mr. Leo. We are saying that anybody who takes advantage of your predicament to ride over you is evil from day one, from inception. What does it mean? It simply means that proprietors have understood that Many people are searching for jobs. They are aware. If you go to, for example, the job market is so large. The people are leaving the faculty of education, others are leaving the faculty of law, this and that, and all of them, they are parading the streets or schools to teach. That is why the system the proprietors use is every year you reapply. So that the moment you want to be too sensitive, they realize that this father, let's say, go worry small. No, reapply. When you reapply, they just tell principal, keep that man's file aside, that guy will give us a headache. And look for another young man who has A level, who is itching to be called sir. So he fits in that shoes. And then he replaces Fah and he continues. But what are the impacts of all what we're saying? The impact boils on the output of what we have, garbage in, garbage out. I have applications in my office there from university students. The application itself is grammatical error from start to finish. University, I'm not talking about O-level somebody. You start asking, but how this stuff how does a child even write CA? How is a CA even marked? And very soon you hear that child has maybe a third class lower. You start saying, but how did this child even manage to pass? I mean, passing. So you realize that you are not forced to collect the money, but the proprietors take advantage of the poverty situation. It's just like the state takes advantage of the poverty situation and use youth to rig elections. It's the same thing. So a youth will easily give him 2,000 francs on the day of election to go and vote 5 times, give you a bottle of beer, and he's happy. But he's standing at the same place. The future is in his father's house. He's going 40 years. He's still in his father's house. 42 years, still in the father's house and the mother's house. These are the things we are saying that when we are evil inclined, they will tell you that no. Just like Madam said something, they pay you according to the contract which you have signed. It's a good thing. But we should ask, what is the contract? Law will tell you, yes, if you sign 5,000 francs, it is worth the 5,000 francs. But there's another side of it, what they call the moral side of it. The moral side of that contract is that if I came, I was desperate. Maybe I've looked for a job until my shoe has gotten flat. I don't even have one to buy the next one. And I stumble over and say, oh, I'll just surely manage to teach. I come to a school. You're telling me you pay me 50,000 francs. I am living in Bonaberry. I have to cross the bridge and come every day. Finally, the man at the frustration decides to accept. But it means that you yourself, you're not doing good, because anybody who's doing an interview will ask, but how are you sure you cope? What's the situation and all the like? It's better you don't even plunge the person into that. Now, when you have a contract of that nature, the face of it, that has to do with the law of it counts. The moral aspect of it, which you ask yourself, but truly, if I give this person this money, if it was my son, and I'm paying him 40,000 francs in Douala, truly, can he cope to rent a house, to maybe buy his shirt, and even transport to come every day for a month? That is why teachers who went and signed those kind of contracts have been able to look for other means of living. Some in the night are doing what they call Okada, commercial bike riding. Instead of preparing lessons at night, he's on the road. He walks till about 2-3 a.m. Now he goes and sleeps, gets up in the morning, he comes to class, he's not prepared. He babbles and goes his way. At the end, garbage in, garbage out. These are the consequences. What will cause a proprietor to take the human face of a human being? That no, it's true, this person has come like this. But even though you want to work here, please, if you feel that, can you manage? Yes, sir, I can manage, sir. You know, sir, I've been trying to get a job, I cannot. And you're not asking yourself that, but truly, with where I see this person, if it was my son coming to ask for this job, and I want to give 50,000 francs in Douala, where he's paying maybe 1 time for every day to come to the job site, how does it look like? That is why I say that we have killed the moral part of our consciences. And that's why many proprietors are strictly business persons. Mr. Ndimancho asked something, which was correct. How many of them? We know that in the early days, early 60s, when education was evolving, HMs had the ability to visit parents at home. HMs had that ability to visit their fellow teachers to find out how they are doing. Is it fever? I hope you're okay. That is a moral aspect that Africa is supposed to have, which evil spirits have stepped in. And now, top manager is money. When I'm making my money, but you signed 50 now, this 50 I'm paying you. When the person comes, there were some signed 50, signed 60. At the end, they have done overdraft until, in fact, they can no longer cope because they have lived above their salaries, because problems too will not allow them, because they cannot cope with that. It is a sacrilege. Conscience-wise, if a man is desperate, don't take advantage of his desperate situation to milk him and make money out of him, because most of these writers watching me now have made money out of the sweat of teachers. Some have died even wretched. because they could not afford medical bills. Some of their children have had health complications. Their wives have even died out of pregnancy because they themselves, calling themselves teachers, could not foot those bills. Sometimes run to the proprietor tell you, no, we don't have money now, we don't have money now. And the people themselves, I don't know where they've kept the conscience. And there's an association of proprietors. If you hear what they talk inside, I will not be saying it here. If you hear what they say inside,
okay, if we
terrible.
hear what they say inside, teachers and proprietors relationship, there exist trade unions, no? Yes, are they not doing the job enough to ensure that the press, either on the teachers to respect what is expected of them and the proprietors?
Okay, I want to say concerning the trade unions, I think it's a good initiative that every teacher is supposed to be involved. But I tell you, there are many teachers that they don't even know about trade unions. They don't even know whether it exists. So before I come to trade union, I had something so aching to talk about, which can really contribute, which can really help teachers better their living standard, and many people ignore. That is the role and the duties of parents. Why do they paint schools instead of paying teachers? I have a friend, many of them that right now like this, they have not paid the May and June salary, but they are painting the schools. They are arranging the school. Why are they doing that? If you look keenly, I'm talking about the proprietors.
Okay.
If you look keenly, they see they are doing that to draw parents. Their focus is the parents. So now the parents sees they are the prime factor here. If the parents are wise also, that you be in a school the first year, different set of teachers, because I've been in a school where 5 years, 5 different head teachers, 5 different teachers. Now, if the parents, you see your child that this year, class 1 is a different teacher, class 2 is a different teacher, and then you don't ask questions. Even as teacher, even if they complain, they don't have nothing to do, because they pay more attention to the teachers, rather, they pay more attention to the parents rather than the teachers. Now, in most schools, there's nothing like PTA. There is no union between the teachers and the parents. They have dissolved all of it. Why? They are doing that because they know that's the only milieu where parents can complain. But if parents, you put your child in a school, you find out how the child is doing. You come back, you look at the child's book, the book is not okay. The teacher gave assignment, the teacher has not marked. You go to the school, but most parents, I can tell you, there are parents that will give their children to the teacher, and then they'll forget those children. They don't know what the child is going through. So the best way, before coming to talk about trade union, the highest way that the parents can do, or we can do, to better the living standard of teachers, is for parents to pay attention. If you go to school and say, I have seen this in my child, I am not happy, another parent will come and say, if 3 parents come and complain on a particular thing, why 10 teachers complain on that thing, proprietors will pay close attention to the parent. So the parent also have light so low that is disturbing so much, and is making the proprietors to look or to neglect the teachers. Now, concerning trade union, I think that many teachers, most of the time also, they don't like working together, because what they do also, I see more of divide and rule. You see, at times the proprietor can just see one teacher and make sure the teacher is living very well, tell me everything that is happening. So some of them, even if you bring that idea, many of them will say that, no, I'm just teaching for 1 year and I'll go this way, I'm just teaching for 1 year and I'll go. What is the need of creating that when you know that you will not last in teaching? And the words they are saying like that I'm teaching 1 year and they have made 5 years in it, they have made 6 years in it. They say that one head teacher advised me and said that if you want to teach for 1 year, pay attention, teach for 1 year very well, teach very, very well in such a way that when you leave, you will put a mark there. Because you say, I just want to do this and look for something doing. We know Cameroon, you are looking, the thing is not coming, the teaching is remaining. Then you make 6 years in teaching, you are not changing yourself, you are not changing the students, you discover that that is time wasted for nothing. Okay. So,
time wasted. Yes, you answer the same question. Trade unions, yes. They exist at St. Jerome?
Talking of trade unions, in St. Jerome there is a PTA that is well structured. Christmas party this year was organized by the Parents Teachers Association. Okay. Parents grade roads to St. Jerome because of the relationship we create. We impact their children.
We have teachers representatives at all? Teachers
representative always in the Parents Teachers meeting. There are teachers representative. We want to talk about the impactation of life. when you start a business, you have a vision you're looking onto. And when you're following this vision keenly, you are going to succeed at the end of the day. When we talk of, we have a platform whereby all the parents, we have a school complex. So we have the primary, the secondary, and we are soon getting to the universities. Now, in this platform, we have a database of parents where teachers and parents are open to giving their opinions. They can talk on the platform and it's open. There is no divided and rule method, but we know us human beings, you can have a leader who is manipulating. He will want to maybe come up with strategies to make himself known. It is not always the proprietor, but at times the representatives that are available to channel. A proprietor cannot come and spend the whole day in school. The proprietor has other things he's doing. There is somebody who is standing there as the principal or the administrator or the general administrator. That person could be the one hindering your projects to reaching the proprietor. But if you have a proprietor who is open to listen, who gives a listening ear to everyone or every employee that comes close to him, the situation is completely different in this situation, because you will be feeling more closer to everyone there. And in a room of work where there were opportunities of working, like in Saint Jerome, our principal is an inspector. So inspections, as the doctor was saying, are being done in the classroom. Inspection are being done in the classroom. Practical lessons are being done. You ensure that you impact the students with what they are there for. You give them the full package of what they have come to collect. I would just want to remain in the same line with my colleague who was talking about the parents being dismissed from the education of their children. Parents are equally very busy because of the economy of the country. They have to work hard to be able to food their bills and food the bills of their children. So at the point, the teacher should play his role, and he will have to also equally add to that the parents' role, because the parents are really absent. I will not want to say parents, I will not want to support these parents on that. They are really absent on their duty. They have left their part of the job. But that notwithstanding, a teacher, when I was growing up, was this person that when you meet on the road, he does not need to be your family member. When you meet him, you start to adjust on everything you were doing. But today, because we have taken close relationship and so much friendship, and let's say we have taken the culture of another people to put into our own lifestyle, our children now see their teachers on the road and they even barely greet them after school, because the parent will sit in front of his child and tell him that your teacher, how much are they paying him? 50,000. Is it not up to my mate's pay? So the parent should equally give a value to the teacher that teaches their children in school, so that at the end of the day, the child gives the respect that is due to the teacher. And this notwithstanding, not only the proprietors are called as those who do not feel the impact. In every part of life, people, employers benefit of the effort of the employees. It is not only in the school milieu, it is a general pandemic in the world. When you are not up to it, they say the fishes will feed from the ant. That means if you are small, the big ones, animals will eat you up. Because we are small, the big animals are eating us up. So let's not look at it only in the perspective of what do he gain at the end of the day, but what do you gain? When you were coming there, maybe you were desperate for a plate of food, and at the end of the day, you can eat 3 square meals because he's able to pay you that minor salary that you earn. But you should plan up a life for yourself. You should not only hold on to the proprietor needs to change my life. You change your own life. Who changed the proprietor's life? At the point you start to think about your own self, and you need to grow up. Let us not be stagnant, because stagnation is the key problem of our society. You come into someone's business and you want to say, because I am in your business, I need to start owning shares. No, it was not a plan, it was not a project. You come into someone's business, you earn what you are earning, and you build a project and you build a future for yourself. Looking at what you're benefiting, you construct your own future and plan for your own investment.
Okay, we are going to continue this discussion because so many persons are saying that, oh, Mr. Leo, you need to organize more of this. But let's move on to our second topic for tonight. We are coming back to this program, I'm sure. The same topic next weekend. Second topic has still to do with school, which has to do with what is promised teachers. This is back to school, and so many schools are going to say we have the best, we are the best in this, we are the best in that, and the best in this. Do we really aptly represent when you go to school, or you look at what is promised? We have the best teachers, we have the best lab, we have the best this. Do we reflect what we tell parents before they come and students before they come?
It cannot really be. To me, schools are even supposed to be like churches, They are not supposed to be advertised,
Okay.
Yes, I think so. Schools should advertise themselves. They should advertise themselves. And actually, this is what happens. Even when we think we are advertising the schools actively, but passively, schools advertise themselves. Because when you teach well, there are the children who go home and talk about it there. There are people who talk about it, that this school teaches well. And you never ever know. So all this blah 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 blah. This school has a lab. An equipped lab. It has a football pitch. It has that. I think that all of those things are things that are supposed to be there. Are they supposed to be advertised? A school is supposed to have a spacious land where there's a football field. A school is supposed to have an equipped lab. Are you supposed to tell me that? You're not supposed to tell me that you have a school lab. Because you are supposed to have.
Yeah, but do they have it?
This is a question. That's what I'm saying.
You are looking at an idea.
You know, I'm saying that when you talk about it, means that you don't have.
Okay.
If you talk about it, means that you don't have. Means that you are deceiving people. Because I know that it is supposed to have. So the best way to deceive people is to say that you have what you don't have. And that is what happens. And it is when schools start. Even teachers, they say we have the best teachers, qualified teachers. It is when school started, my children come back to some school and say, we didn't have the mathematics teacher, we didn't have the physics teacher. We have been going for 2-3 weeks now without this teacher, without that teacher. It is not just about the other things. Even teachers themselves, they do not have. Why? Because every proprietor, every establishment they want to monetize, they want to commercialize, they want to make more money for themselves at the detriment of the children. This is what is happening, and that is why you find the September is coming, October is coming. September for secondary and primary, and October for universities. You find a lot. Of course, you receive a lot of adverts here. That's fine, but I say you find a lot of people coming to advertise. They say they have this, they have that, they have this, because they want to lure people to come. And one of the things that they do here is that they make sure that you pay a very great quantity of fee when you come, because fee is an installment. You know that the first installment, if you have a fee, a school of 200,000 francs in a primary school, okay, the first installment should be at least about 100,000 francs. You know that when you already paid that first installment, you pay without even knowing what the compound is. Like, having paid that first installment, are you sure that you are going to remove your child from there and abandon what you have paid? No. That is what happened. And now the flyers that they take out around, my God, you would think that there are some schools in the US that they have even produced, and they are taking pictures from there. Because the flyers, you look, they are so titillating. And you just feel that, man, this school like this is where my children will go. And because parents send now children to school out of pride and not out of educational goals, parents want to send to school, they do competition to the schools where they send their children. But a parent want to beat up his chest and say, my child goes to St. Jerome. Yeah, because you know it's a good school. And this one will say, to St. Jerome. And good school, not only good school, because it's expensive. People like to go to expensive places. And that's why somebody will drive from maybe Bonamusadi and go leave the child in Bonanjo. Yes. You pass so many schools, so many schools to go to Bonanjo, because there is this competition. My child is in American school. That is what is happening. So you find that it is about the flashy nature of the institution, which of course are empty. At the end of the day, Some of these schools that you leave to go to where you are going to, they still teach the same thing that your schools are teaching. So, and all of this is because schools have been so much commercialized, monetized, and the one that shift the fare at the end of the year. That if you calculate the number of children you have, that at the end of this year, at least the proprietor must have made at least some good sum of money. And each time they keep on telling you that we borrowed money to build this school. And that borrowed money never finishes, eh? And you know who sympathizes with them the most? The teachers. The teachers say, well, this proprietor is so good, eh? He tried. He borrowed money and we have... Can you imagine? This is what happened? So this is some of the dynamics in these things that we really have to look into. Flashy things. Education. I will ask Mr. Fah, when you were growing up in the primary school, where you checked kilometers to go to your school, and then you even perform well because you learned your lesson in school. In the first place, we learned in school. Yes, that's the first thing that we did. We learned in school. You find children who learn in school. There's what they call the evening classes again. There's a school beside my house, a very, very big school. I hear this school, that the children close there at 7 in the evening. And I ask, what school is that again? Is this? Because if you think that you are a good school, it is not the number of hours you drag into the night to make that your school is nice or that your school is serious. Children are supposed to be given a space to learn, to study. But when you think that you have to feed the children or feed the children, and there is this school, you know, they are in agreement with some of these exams board. Yes, most of the schools are centers. Yes, they buy to be centers. And we know the magu that it goes when it comes to results. These things, we need to talk about them. So talking about the advertisements of schools, I really think that students should advertise schools. Because when you do advertisement for school, a school is like a church. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do an advertisement for a church. You
don't have to do advertisement for a church. Yes. How do we ensure that what is advertised or promised actually applies? That is, I don't know whether it's the government inspectors or some people to make sure that these things that are expected to exist in a school should be there even before they go operational, or at least while they are going operational, the students should have these things so that they don't just come and discover that they paid money for what does not exist.
Well, I think that mechanism is just supposed to be put by the government. Mm-hmm. We had some time when there was a strike at the Lycée Muliko, sometimes on computer, where the child had paid money and the computers were not available. I think that time we had Regional Gundo Francis, who was the regional guy at that time, who's now retired, I think so. And they had to block that road, disturb circulation the whole of that period because they said they wanted their money back. Where is the computers that they paid for and they were not seeing? That's the government school, eh? Baluga Grammar School, Moliko. That's several years ago, I'm sure it's about 10 years ago. I can never forget that story. And at the end of it, you come to realize that what can you do to check on schools that advertise what they don't have or to ensure that they advertise what they have? It is only a functional mechanism. But who is to put that mechanism when the system is entirely kangaroo? When the system is kangaroo, everything is kangaroo. I say I have trains in my school when I don't have even a bicycle. I say I have flyovers in my school where I don't have even a single mobilette, and it will stand. So since as we are in an anyhow society, so the proprietors too have decided to function in the way they find the society going. So now it's survival of the fittest. So any proprietor who can call it a perfect marketing skills, oh yeah, you call it and go your way. After there's nobody who comes to tell you that why is one not there. There are some that have 3 computers and they say they have computer labs. I mean 3 computers in a school where you have about 200 children. But when you see there, it goes on this poster, they do Photoshop, they take computers from somewhere, put on their posters, and you see children sitting as if they're in a computer lab. You want to carry 3 computers are there, and what kind of computer are there? Those in those days desktop.
And they are not even functioning.
They're not even functioning. The Pentium 2, Pentium 3. I start asking yourself, but what is there happening? So the system is kangaroo. That is the conclusion. So as the system is kangaroo, the proprietors are taking the advantage to operate in their kangaroo system the way they can do to make maximum mago and get their students. After all, it is survival of the fittest. If proprietor does not say that, the next person next door says that and gets the students or people that he was supposed to get because he stayed quiet. What does it benefit him? So he needs to join the rest of the bandwagon. But I think all of this is because of the system. Because when you have educational system where you are not honest, it means that even the output of that school will surely be that of dishonesty. That you will say, probably we eat every day in school, for example. You will say that probably the children have all beds where they can rest for pre-nursery every day, when beds are not even there to rest, as you are saying. So at the end of it, parents too are the cause of all of this. Because you hear an advert, well cajoled from the media. Yes, we are taking it, my media people will take, we will take. When you come and give us, we don't, it is not our duty to come and check. If you come and give advert about media prime, Mr. Leo will not say, please, where is the school? You say the school is about them, say, okay, wait for let me go and see before I come advertise. No, that's not his job. As you give it, he advertises it. It simply means that parents who are to be lazy. There are parents who don't even know where their children are schooling. I said, they don't even know. PTA meeting, they don't even know what is said there. They just see them. They go and concoct anything I go and give them. They say, oh, I don't have time, don't worry. How much is it? We'll pay, we'll pay. So what do you expect? So at the end of it, parents have failed in their duty of monitoring their children at home, failed in their duty of ensuring where the children go to, because when you go to fail to pay a fee, please, can you take me around? Let me see how the school looks like. It's your duty. As a potential parent, I've come with the fee, this is it. I want to pay now. Please, these flyers, I had it here. You told me that you have this, you have that. Please don't worry. Secretary, please let us go around, let me see. My 3 children, I want to enroll them here. Is that no, the thing is that the things are still to come. Now grab that no matter. Just put your money in your pocket and change your direction. But now since as parents they are more busy than be. So at the end of it, these are the consequences that we put ourselves into, and proprietors who are dubious have every reason to turn us around, assuming that we are very, very busy. But as I said, government has not done well, because if we're talking like this and we're hearing that school is resuming, 10 schools have been sanctioned for saying that they have things that they don't have, for talking about labs that they have, cooking lab, nutrition lab. They don't have even a stove, but they say they have a well-equipped nutrition lab. If you sanction the school and suspend them for that year, I think proprietor will start sitting on their, they will start sitting where that, hey, you are wrong come, so if I not talk sit well, the next thing that my school might be the next. Because if you are studying inspector, they will come and collect their money. If you're inspector, oh yeah. So at the end of it, let me tell you the truth, the system has expired. Okay. We are just managing the educational system. We are only managing, we are partner beating. If you are waiting with those people who manage the educational system, they are outdated. Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. I think the treatment of the teachers by the employee or school authority should be a focus to know good schools, because when the teachers are treated well financially and verbally, they'll put all efforts to do the job well. Thank you. So many messages. Where should this start? Should this start with from the beginning? That is, everything is set in place before we even go telling parents or students to come.
I believe that we need to set a base.
Okay.
Setting a base means that the proprietors build this school complex and they go out there to meet parents to encourage them to enroll their children in these schools. Mm-hmm. Parents need to equally stand their part, their angle of the triangle of education. Mm. In the triangle of education, you have parents, teachers, and the parent. The student is on all the bars of the triangle. You have the school, you have the home, and you have the church in the child's education, the triangle of education. Now, when you parent, you feel on your part of the angle of looking at what you have to do. Some parents sit at home right now and ask the school, can I have a screenshot of the book list? And he gets the screenshot. He will easily be manipulated. But when you come to a well-structured environment where everything is put in place and everything has been prepared, they are even welcoming and they are very ready to let you go around and visit the school as a whole. Looking at this, parents have to know that they have to keep on taking care of their children. They are their children before coming to school. They feel at that point where they don't want their, they don't take part on their own part of training their children. Now, when the school has to showcase itself, it is a business and you have to communicate what you have. And when you're communicating what you have, you need to expose it. Marketing is part of financial development. When they want to develop their finances, you have to do a marketing strategy. In your marketing strategy, you have to expose what you got. And in publicity, there's what is called in French, publicité mensongère. You lie while publicizing. But now, at the end of the day, you are being caught. You are being caught. Because when the students come to school and they don't get what they were promised, the next academic year,
2 or 3 Pentium, you say Pentium 2 and 3?
at the end of the day, when the students do not get what they came for, they are going to drop out. The next year, you see your population decreasing. But rather, when the school is what it said from the onset, you see the population increasing. You go evolutively. But now, when you are in a context where you're dubious, you lie, you use tricky methods to get the students to come in, to enroll. At the end of the year, some parents who are keen to follow up their children.
How does
Saint Jerome School?
Yeah.
In Saint Jerome School, we have everything set.
You may be saying these things, and
but Madam has to say everything good about school. I'm saying, you expect her to say contrary here? She will paint the school heaven, even if it's not heaven as per se.
No, but I'm sure I went there. It looks like a school that is out of here. Yeah.
Okay.
It is an American standard.
All right. Every school has
It's
American
an
standard.
international standard.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Yes, and
There's a playground.
a playground. We have a sport complex, a full sport complex, a
That's good,
basketball
that's
fee. We have handball fee, basketball, football, everything. It's a whole school complex.
That's good. Free Wi-Fi on campus, everything.
No, talking of
Inter-school bus services within the school
inter-school
campus.
bus services. Okay.
From one campus to another, I understand. Yes, okay.
No, the campuses are just very close by.
Okay.
So we don't have the
Alright.
inter-school buses. But we have a solid foundation.
Well,
When you have a solid foundation, you cannot work on a sinking soil. There you are moving on something that has already been built.
okay.
It is well founded.
Okay, I know Mr. Kum brings 50
It
teachers
is-
here. All of them will say similar.
It is well
Until
founded.
we go and see it.
Until you
It's good,
come
it's good.
there,
Okay.
then you will understand that there is something in Ndzi. If this school was not in Ndzi, where the roads are not accessible, then we will not be talking. We'll be talking something else.
Okay, we'll be talking something
Interesting.
else.
I like that.
Yes, I've been there. I'm sure he has been there.
Yeah, I've been there, of course, and I know the proprietor in person. A
Okay.
serious man. He's a man who didn't build a school because he wants to eat.
Okay.
He built a school because he wants to give out. Because he already has enough to eat.
Chairman.
Yes.
Chairman. That
Yes,
grammar like that.
yeah,
I don't agree with that grammar. There's no Father Christmas here on Edo.
Yes, but we're looking at how do we get schools to reflect what they say? That is, the toilets are good, because that is also, we need holistic education. We need this and that and that and that, but we see what is happening. How do we get schools construct, build, and establish what is expected of them? We're talking about at least the basic requirements, standard requirements for schools before they go operational.
I think that, like Madam said, the first thing that is even very easy to do, I know that maybe most of the time the proprietors, they do this advertisement and they have a vision that this is where I want this school to be maybe in 50 years. And maybe they just use that one now, they consider about that vision in 50 years and then they use it while the school is just some few years.
Okay, what is on the flyer is what is going to happen in 25
I think
years.
so.
You
I
just
think that
have
maybe
to-
that's what they want to do because it's really funny. Now, to strike something, I think that the parents are supposed to collaborate with other parents who are in the same school. So, in other words, I am not supporting, I am
How are
saying
parents
it's a
supposed
funny.
to collaborate?
Okay, they are supposed to collaborate. With that, they can easily fish out the lies. If this parent is saying, or the school is saying, this school is like this school has all this, You have maybe a neighbor that is having a student in that school, or a parent that is having a child in that school. You ask about all those things, you verify, and then you find out. But when you don't have the time to do that, they have all those times to tell all those lies because they know that we don't have the time. The parents don't have the time to verify. It's very easy. Just call and say, how is this school? How is this school? They will tell you the truth.
Okay, they'll tell you the truth. To some extent, parents have been indexed here. Are we saying that parents are lazy, or the students themselves? Because if somebody says, I have this and that, how expensive is it for you to rush down or call a cousin or somebody that go find out from the school? Because instead of discovering that we have 2 Pentium 2 computers, yeah, what stops you from going to visit the school?
The issue too is
because waiting for the government may never come down from Yaoundé, but you are there in Boya, you are there in Limbe. Why not just go down there?
I think the first thing, yes, parents are busy. That one we can't deny the fact. But you cannot be over busy on issues that concern your child. That's true. But the second thing too is I'm asking myself, I've had situations whereby you go to these schools and you are not taken exactly to where you wanted to see, and you cannot force them. It happens that they know that they advertise computer lab, and they have only Pentium 2 or 2 of them in the lab, and they don't take you to that area. They rather take you to different areas, or somebody may rather tell you that that lab is under construction, or that lab so the person who owns the key.
There's refurbishing.
Refurbishing of a lab. They give you reasons, because these are things that happen some of the time for parents who actually go. So I think, but there is a missing link. Fah is a journalist, and I also think in other countries we have journals of schools which are not run by the schools proprietors themselves. They are run by independent people. Like schools are opening like that. You run a journal talking about the different schools in town and what they contain, so that you don't depend only on what the school tells you. It happens. Even in Nigeria here, it happens. I had a friend who was running one like that, and it makes a lot of money too, because people pay adverts in that. So when it's happening, like, it's much more independent. There's no bias. There is objectivity in reporting what actually holds. Like you come to Douala 5, you talk about list all the schools are in Douala 5. You go to each school and see what each school has. You put inside your journal. You are able to sell out to people to see exactly where they can send their children. It is very important, because as Madam said, there is this lying communication strategy, whereby if you don't lie, you will not have the people that you need, that you want. If you don't lie, you don't have the children, because we live in a very, very competitive world, whereby each person will want to have the highest number of students as possible. And therefore, for you to have yours, even though you have, you need to be able to tell people that this is what I have, even if that is not what I have. Even if you have, you always want to make it higher. Even those who even have the computer lab stuff, they will tell you, not just computer lab, but it's air conditioned. That is it. So this line method commercially, yes, brings them the student, because they will say that they need that in order to pay their children. They will know, if they don't advertise and have the children, where will they take the money from to pay the teachers? So it's important about this. And two, living in a cosmopolitan town like in Douala and having to go to school to check sometimes, well, it sounds so easy, but sometimes it's really difficult for parents to displace themselves to go to some of these places. Or imagine that me living here, I'm going to Kumba, I'm going to Bamenda just because I want to go and check the school. You may even send somebody, but he doesn't give you the real image of what you're thinking about. So sometimes there are these mistakes that we make, but the bottom line lies in the school and the administrators. In other countries, schools are run by a board. It's not just by an individual. We are talking here only about a proprietor. There's a proprietor, there is this, there's this, at least. And then we know that, okay, without just thinking about the proprietor, because the proprietor has done his own job to put a school, to construct a school, to build a school, and keep it there. And he has put administrators to take care of the school. So, on agreed terms, the administrators are supposed to run the school the way that it's supposed to be run. And therefore, they are supposed to make sure that they frame the vision, the mission, the vision of the school, so that whatever they give out to the population is exactly what they stand to see. And that is where we use now to grade, like in level of universities. We grade universities, and it's in terms of that we grade universities, teaching, research, and all of those. Yeah, I mean, the campuses and all of that. You take that, and that, every year we grade universities in Africa, and we go by that. And you cannot just come and say, my university. No, there is a team actually that goes around. That's after studying this. How many students have you graduated? How many students do PhD? How many lecturers are upgrading? And all of those. It goes, and I think that has to go down to the primary and secondary school, so that we know that these schools are not just talking, but they are doing what they are saying. So I think parents being lazy, no. Parents too need that fee to send the children to school, and they will not spend their time going to school all the time.
Yes, but how do we fish out this lying communicators, persons who are deceiving the parents and the teachers, and how do we find the balance so that schools do what they promise to do?
No, the simple thing is just that, as I said,
the government should monitor better.
It has to do with the government monitoring and putting up a commission. It's like you have commission, it's like for us for communication. All right, you know that Judge Kebongo Kalabopse is there. Each time there's an error at the level of the media, he comes in to mediate or to sanction. Good. Complaints against media you send to him, there's a channel. So when you have a kind of commission put in place, a firm one with people of integrity that have what it takes to carry on with sporadic visit to those schools based on the adverts they see, I think it will solve a lot of those things. But then the question is, what caliber of people will they be? And what will be their mandate or their modus operandi? If you tell them, just like the Commission of Bilingualism and the other foreign kind of commissions, just only seek and write, then they will be toothless. But once they have even what it takes to write for a school to be suspended for doing a faulty advert or a fictitious advert, then people will begin to sit up. It's very possible. It is possible for people to sit up. I've said in this country, everything is possible if the kangaroo system in Yaoundé wants it to be possible. But if not, we will blow grammar here. The parents are just watching and laughing. Hear me the picture put the talk here. They know that we are blowing big grammar here because that is what they are currently doing now. Because they need the students and the peoples and at all costs. So what we say here, they just look and they just laugh. That will not know what to go through. None of this and that. But must you carry on with lifestyle because you want to make some ends to meet? No. So, but then, man, just like what Socrates said, man is born free, but everywhere is in chain. It simply means that man needs to be put under chain, under control, using a particular state mechanism. Once that they put in place, you would just like you don't advertise hospitals. Now, the National Medical Council understands that. So once the CEO of our advertising hospital come, they come there, they know something is wrong with you. Because they know that with hospitals, your output of what you do is supposed to get patients to look for you. That's why somebody will leave from here and go to Shishon. Somebody will leave from here and go to a particular hospital in Bangante. Somebody will leave from here and go to a particular hospital in Yaoundé. When there are hospitals here in Limbe, where he is. But at the end of it, it is what those hospitals do that make the patients to travel long distances, bypassing hundreds of hospitals along the line just to come to a particular center. If we inculcate that within the academic milieu, manned by a strong body, even lay private is sleeping. Because lay private, those are things the children would have been doing. But now everybody is just there waiting for money. If they'll be asking, why do I go to check this man who has two Pentium 2 computers in his school where he say he has a computer lab? What is my benefit? Once he does not get a benefit, he will not go. But if you knew that checking him and bringing him to order, he can have benefit in his pocket, he will do so. At the end of it, we have lost the focus of doing things the right way because benefits is what we are only looking for. Okay. It is a terrible thing.
Benefit is what we're looking for. We are going to be wrapping up very shortly. Each person is going to give one word. Yes, one word for the first topic and the second topic. What St. Jerome is planning for this year. Maybe they have some incentives for the teacher to better the teacher-proprietor relationship, and also are there some innovations as far as our infrastructure is concerned?
Yes, St. Jerome has always been this motivating institution where the workers work not under pressure.
That's the campus?
Yes.
Can we come back to it? I see.
That is just part of the campus. That's, let's say, 1/3 of the...
Okay.
1/4 of the campus.
Is there another? Just look for it. I've not seen it like that. Just look for some pictures. Let us see, because you may be blowing hot grammar like he says here, but I'm surprised with those pictures. I don't know where.
Okay.
Ella, where did you get those pictures from? Just, yes, go on.
I was saying that Saint Jerome has this motivational system. Teachers are being motivated to work and to put in their best. How do they motivate teachers? On Teachers' Day, teachers do not contribute for organizing any gala for themselves, but the proprietor takes it upon himself to organize a party for the teachers. At the end of the year, like now, we have 100% in Epse, 100% in Probatoire Acat Espanol, 100% in Probatoire C, 100% in ordinary levels, 100% in BPC, Série Espagnol, et Série Allemand, 100%, no, not in advanced level, we have 76% in advanced level. Looking at these percentages, we know that before we wrap up the month of August, our proprietor is going to throw a party for us. It's going to be a great feast for us because we have on a mouillé le maillot. We have done it, and at the end of the day, we live there. Everybody's satisfied.
Are the parents coming to appreciate what the teachers have done, or they are giving testimonies in churches?
Give their testimonies in their churches, where we will not go and say no, because
do they come
but
and
they
thank you?
equally come back to school to say thank you.
Okay.
If you come to visit our platform on Facebook, you will see that parents come there to say Saint Jerome is the place to be.
Okay.
So looking at that as innovation for this new academic year, Saint Jerome has set in a new administration. We are talking about a new Saint Jerome, where things are going to change drastically.
Do we have some of the pictures?
Because we are going to move to another level.
Oh, that's good.
We are moving to another level this time
I saw a
around.
building that I was very moved there. That building shows that school is a very big school that I think least salary is not supposed to be less than 150. The least, I mean the cleaner.
Okay.
When we talk about Saint Jerome, we make sure that you are talking about.
I'm talking about Saint Jerome of Ndzi.
Yes.
Okay, of Ndzi.
Yes,
So
Saint Jerome is
think that you're
situated
talking
in
about
Ndzi.
Saint Jerome Catholic University.
No, I'm not talking about the Catholic University.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Saint Jerome
Ndzi. So you should
International
specify.
School, Ndzi.
Okay.
Complexe scolaire bilingue Saint Jérôme de Ndzi.
Okay. Ndzi
Yes,
is somewhere
Ndzi
behind where we are. Okay. Yes. Striking the balance here. You have reward for the teachers and the proprietors. Okay. That's Saint Jerome. Wow.
This is just the playground. No, it's the school. This is just the playground for the primary.
Okay, that's just the private money.
Yeah.
Then the school fees there, I mean the salary there should not be less than 150 even for a cleaner. I mean a cleaner should not have less than 150. Teachers should have at close to 200. What I see there is good. It's good.
And teachers are being paid that amount.
Good. Okay. 200 is good.
Okay.
Yes.
I will apply it myself. I can come back to teaching because of that.
You want to abandon?
No, I'm not bad. I'm not bad. You can part time me.
Yes, you are earning. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to end by saying the last topic which we are discussing on. I will start from there before concluding on the first one by saying how we can balance the falsy information on the flyers and the one in reality. I think that most of the people that go around with most of these flyers are the teachers that are complaining that all these problems. So it's very easy. At times a teacher maybe, because if all these things are being put in place, it will benefit firstly the teacher because it will ease teaching. At times they can even give you this type of flyer. You say, last year when we took these flyers, the parent told us that they will not take it because it is false, because everything that is here is not the truth. Okay. Then the first one I will conclude also by saying that it's all about vision, it's all about purpose. You, the proprietor, when you are creating the school, you must have the purpose of upgrading teaching, upgrading learning. But let's assume that the proprietors created the school with the intention of making money. I think you as a teacher, even if you are teaching for 1 year, you just want to teach for 1 year, have that passion that you want to change one child's life for that 1 year, in such a way that when you are leaving from there, maybe that child alone, the proprietor may not be able to pay you well, which we discourage very much because they are able to do that. But we are saying that the teacher should be able to do it at least. If you want to teach that 1 year, say that my purpose this 1 year is to teach. Because when a teacher is frustrated and is coming to direct a student that is frustrated, at the end is frustration. So at least the teacher should be balanced.
Okay, the teacher should be balanced. And Dr. Ndimancho, we are going to say thank you for coming in.
Yes, thanks so much. And I'm happy to see that there are schools which, of course, are given a good image. But we should not end at a good image, which will be what the form is just one thing, the content should be another thing. And I think that schools that want to grow together with the teachers, because I always hear them say, okay, let us grow together. You know, when the school will be fine, you too will be fine. It really needs to be fine. Something should be seen to be done. And that when you go to some schools abroad, you find that they have coffee breaks, people even eat at school and all of those things. We don't have that very much in Cameroon here. And I think that one of the ways to keep a teacher, and that you ask a teacher that if really you hold something at heart about this school, you will say something good about the school, is that the school is a family school. Like, I mean, building a family as a whole. It's not just like that proprietor-teacher relationship. That the teacher should be able to say something, even in his sleep, a good thing about the school. Because there are many teachers who teach, and when you ask them after school about the school, I'm telling you, they are even discouraging children from going to the school. So because there is nothing memorable about the school, we should be concerned about the human formation of the school. That's right.
Thank you too for coming, Fah.
Thank you very much. Why I'm calling on proprietors to be humane. They should fear God. Mission in particular. Mission, fear God. Because most of our parents have retired wretched. Yet the big guns, the managers and the whosoever's are the ones who have made the billions. Too bad. And lastly, teachers, you know I'm talking as an escape teacher. Please know your worth. If you are going to a school and you know your worth, if the school cannot dance to your rhythm, go and plant plantains if you can plant.
Ride Okada.
If you can ride Okada, go and do anything that can better your life, or you can join me in journalism if you can. Just do so, because I just saw it was not going and I left it, and I think I'm not regretting.
Journalism better.
I'm not complaining. I've said I'm very fine.
But the teachers don't complain. Do you know that?
That's what I'm saying. That if you say, I said, if you see that it's not moving, if you see that it's not moving, pick another line of duty, and more than to stay there and be chaffing. One day you might collapse with hunger to kill you. When the proprietor is sleeping in an air-conditioned house there, breathing good air, it should not go. They say it's our school. It is their school. It is in their names. Let me tell you. Do your own part.
Thank you very much for coming, and to all of you who took time off to watch this edition of the program, the first for the week. Thank you to you, Desmond and Eli, for production. Tabi, Dambe Brian for supervision. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.